We are growing tomatoes on these beautiful trellises, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to support these tomatoes this season. But before we do, make sure to hit that subscribe button and check out my memberships for more one-on-one support. Let's dig in. So it doesn't matter what kind of tomato you have, indeterminate or determinate. How do you know what it is? Literally just look up the variety on Google, see what it is. That information matters because indeterminate means that it will grow indefinitely. As long as it's disease-free, it is a vine that is going to grow forever until it gets hit by disease or pests or frost. So you need to have a solid trellising structure in place to support that growth. Most cherry tomatoes are indeterminate. Most of your big slicer tomatoes, as I like to call them, are determinate. And these trellises I'm using for my determinate tomatoes. And now they're about 1 to 2 feet tall, which is the perfect time to support them on this trellis. I'm going to show you exactly how. And I'm going to show you what it means to prune your tomatoes. All you're going to need is a clean, sterilized pair of pruners and some twine or jute. So my goal is to grow these tomatoes and support them up along this side of the V shape. These are a little already too tall. I didn't train them when I should, but it's okay. It's not too late. I'm going to get a long piece of this twine. And even though it's going to be awkward, eventually this is going to shoot back up. So the first thing I'm looking for is getting my main stem nice and straight. And I'm going to go underneath some of these branches. I'm going to go, of course, along my trellis here and right under these branches. And I'm going to just tie a sweet little knot or a bow. And I'm going to make it so that way this guy is going perfectly straight up. And I want to do the same with this smaller branch that's kind of wanting to like curl this way, because I want to guide it on where to go. Right now it's all confused. And if I were to really try to stretch it and push it, then this tomato stem might break and then I wouldn't have any tomatoes on a nice, beautiful part of this plant. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come through and I'm gonna train it up just a little bit, just enough to say, okay, buddy, it's time to stand straight up. This is where we want you. And I'm gonna do a knot right here because I feel like a bow is gonna be too much. So now what we've got is some guidance on getting this guy nice and straight. In terms of pruning, whenever you see signs of disease, remove it. So it usually starts at the bottom. It's usually anthracnose. Wow, there it is. I just came across this basically pulled apart worm getting smothered by ants on my tomato leaf. I can't imagine what caused that carnage, but that's all right. We're just going to set that back in there and let all that decompose. So check out my maintenance video to see how you handle anthracnose. Essentially, you're just removing the bad foliage from the bottom up. It's usually soil-borne. It's usually from the bottom leaves going up to the top of the plant. Otherwise, when it comes to pruning tomatoes, you're only pruning the indeterminate tomatoes. You are not pruning your determinates. On the determinates, you're only getting rid of diseased, infected foliage like anthracnose. So no strategic pruning on these guys. All we're doing is just standing them straight up. And then from here, they're going to keep growing up and we're just going to keep attaching them to this pole. Let's do another one for an example. This one is a easy solution because it's growing pretty straight up, but I want to go ahead and train it and get it in the right direction. And I'm going to train it up this pole. So I'm just telling it to go right here, a little more straight. And I'm going to keep doing this as the season goes. And that's all the support that it needs right now. As it keeps going, we're just going to keep attaching it to this branch. At the beginning of my tunnel here, I've got a bunch more determinates, but I've got one cherry tomato plant at the very front because I honestly don't think that any family needs more than one cherry tomato because they grow forever. You get tons of them, and at some point you get tired of them. Max 2, but definitely recommend only just one. And it's at the very front. It's going to be beautiful at the front of this for me to show videos of us just snacking in the garden with this beautiful backdrop. So I'm going to stake this guy and I'm going to show you how to prune it. So real similar to the others, I am just going to get a long piece of twine and I just want to get it up and connected and strong. I'm going to get it underneath a really nice strong branch here, and I'm going to go around, and that is going to encourage it to go in this direction. It's okay if this is not ready to move up. It will be. It will be with time. This I can do a little bow on. And this one here, I probably want to trellis it at some point, but I don't think I need to just yet. As it gets taller, I'll get it on here. As all of these get taller, I'm gonna do a combination of kind of winding it around this pole with some of the muscadine grapevine that I've got around it too. And I'm gonna do a combination of tying it and winding it. And that's going to be it for this guy. So we're going to do that the whole way through. But now what we've got to do is we've got to prune this guy, because if we don't prune the indeterminate tomato, it's going to be insane. It's going to be more insane than how it already is. So here's the rule. You prune these suckers up until the second set of flowers. What is a sucker? See this little dude right here? It's literally growing, this is the only way I can describe it, it's growing in the crotch of the plant. So you've got your main stem, you've got your leaves, and then you've got in between, growing at a 45-degree angle, is the sucker. So we're getting rid of suckers up until the second set of flowers. Let's identify our flowers to know what's going on here. I see one set right here, and then I see another set right here. So I'm pruning all the suckers on this thing. Let's get to pruning. When they're really small, you can pinch them. When they're this small, you can usually pinch them if you've got a nice set of nails. Otherwise, you will use your pruners. Haha! Here's a great example. And eventually, these leaves will kind of go down to make space, but here is a sucker in all of its glory. You can root these in water and make new plants. I've got so many plants. I don't have a greenhouse to overwinter these tomatoes, so I'm probably not going to do it. I kind of want to do it. We'll see if I do it. If you want to do it, take off some of the bottom leaves, stick that thing in a glass of water, and it's going to grow roots out of these nodes. The nodes are where the leaves form. So there you have it. Let's see if we can find some more suckers. Here's a tiny little baby. Oh my gosh, this crazy thing down here that I was wondering, what is this doing over here? It's a whole sucker. It's just a whole sucker. I'm going to take that out. Boom. Take that out. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to look everywhere. I want to get rid of all of my suckers, so that way I'm not dealing with just gnarly plant. And remember, I'm only doing this for indeterminate varieties. So aside from this tomato plant, there will be no other pruning necessary except for anthracnose damage. I think I've gone through and I think I've gotten all, oh, nope, there's another one. There's another one back here. Boom, he's out. Already you can see more structure to this plant, and it's just going to be so much easier. This thing's going to get massive. So we don't want it to get huge and massive at the base where it's encroaching on our walkway. We want it to have some nice airflow that's going to prevent disease down the line. Now the only thing I'm going to do with this guy is just remove the foliage that is touching the ground to get rid of anthracnose potential, and if I see any anthracnose. Yeah, this guy I think that I can wait just a little bit longer. Oh, and here's another sucker. Ha! Another sucker. Boom. I couldn't tell because it was growing, this guy's going kind of sideways. It makes me want to get him upways, upwards. That kind of, this is the way that I can kind of tuck it and make it, look at that. Look how nice that just worked out. Here's another sucker. But I think that is actually everything. So the only thing I'm going to be paying attention to is this guy. As he grows, I'm going to tie him closer. I'm going to maybe wind him through. But now this plant is under control. Now let's do an update to these other tomatoes because they're determinates. They're beautiful, growing great. And we need to trellis them on this other trellis. This is not the V-shaped trellis, this is the big arch. And I mean, there's more than 100 ways to skin a cat and train a tomato plant and use support. All I can say is whatever you do, don't get the cheap little cages that are like 3 feet tall from Home Depot or your garden center. It's the worst decision. It's gonna make you feel bad because you're gonna have trash that's broken at the end of the season, and it's not gonna work for even determinate varieties. So what we've got going on here would be comparable to if you were to use like rebar stakes or 8-foot bamboo, and you're literally just trying to give them support as they grow. And so what I'm gonna do here is, because those big juicy tomatoes are gonna get heavy and they're gonna want to break the plants. So what I'm gonna do here is if I'm close to a vertical beam, I'm gonna go ahead and tie it to here, make a little bow. The bows are nice just because they're easy to take out at the end of the season. And let's see, this tomato here, what's happening is it's split right here, but I'm gonna give it some support just like this. I'm gonna tie it on one side. You cannot overdo it with the support. You really can't, because the worst, saddest thing is if you underestimate how it's gonna grow, and then next thing you know, it's broken. Because a few days get away with you, and you just don't, and you think you can stretch it. So you see how I just tied those just straight to this beam here. So these two are nice and supported. They're gonna keep growing, and we're gonna continue that all the way up. I'm also going to try on this trellis to weave them in and out. It's growing on this side of this bar, so I'm gonna try to weave it on this side. And then as it gets taller, I'm gonna weave it around that side. I'm gonna weave them in and out of this thing. Pruning tomatoes is actually one of my favorite things to prune because the fragrance is so incredible. I've always felt like they need to come out with like a perfume or an essential oil just out of these tomato leaves because they smell so good and remind me of what's to come. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to train, trellis, and grow your tomatoes this season, and I hope that it inspired you for an incredible season ahead. If you liked it, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel for more health and homesteading, and check out my memberships for more one-on-one support.